Hey guys, I'm gonna try something a little different in this video. It's hard when I'm by myself to get shots when I'm fixing or trying to fix stuff, so I'm gonna put on my head mount. Right, we got this. This is the HCA 2620S. I'm gonna show you what happens and what to do if your equipment fails to work in the field, as this one did. I didn't have this GoPro with me, so it's better for me, better lighting to do it here. So I'm going to switch to the head mount, and then I'll talk you guys through what my thought process and what I think is wrong with this. All right, well, I've had some technical difficulty, so hopefully this will work now. All right, so here's the situation. I was trimming the bushes. I had been about, I don't know, 10 or 12 minutes into it, and the trimmer started to bog really bad, almost like it was running out of fuel. And as you can see, hopefully it's got more than half a tank of fuel. So obviously the first thing that we want to do is verify there's fuel, and we do have fuel. And the next thing you want to do is make sure that the fuel pickup and filter are submerged down in the tank of fuel. So if you'll take the primer bulb and pump it like that, you can see that there's, hopefully you can see that there's plenty of fuel going in and out of the carburetor. Okay. Now, it's wet. So Josh noted that he smelled gas. I had my mask on. I could not smell the gas. So I'm going to utilize my motorcycle stand and just set this right here. All right, so there's definitely wetness right here. So let's see what we got. Okay, now there's fuel all over this. You see that? Okay. The air filter looks really, really good. In fact, it almost looks new. So I'm going to clean this up a bit. And if you see on the carburetor, also down there, the carburetor has a lot of fuel on it. So this is probably flooding out. Why is it flooding out? Well, I don't know. But you see there's wetness. And that's definitely gas. So something's leaking somewhere. So what I'm going to do, you should always keep this with you on the truck, is some brake parts cleaner. I do have some on the truck, but I didn't have my camera, and I wanted to show you guys. So I'm just going to come over here. These are the best things ever. You can go to Walmart and get these. These are just turkey basters. They're like $2. If you want to take carburetors apart, if you want to do what I'm doing here, so you're not making a mess, I'm just going to spray this off. Just clean it up a little bit so I can see what's going on. You should do this periodically anyway, as part of your maintenance, just so you can kind of keep an eye on things. All right, so I'm going to let this air dry. While that's air drying, I'm going to pull the plug out. So I'm going to come over here, and I don't remember what size that is. And if you're not working on an Echo, this is pretty much for any piece of equipment. I mean, these are just some basic things. You have to be really careful if you're going to do what I'm doing here, because this is sharp. Okay, I hit it right. Just so you guys know, that's a 5/8. Let's see, we'll grab this one. Now I suspect the plug is going to be a little wet. And I would like for you guys also to tell me if you like this style of video. I can't really see how well it's doing. So, all right. So the plug is a little wet. It's got a little bit of carbon on it. But it was running just fine before it started bogging. So this only has 58.9 hours on it. So if we're getting into a situation where we're running rich, you'll oftentimes have a good plug that will foul out. And I'm not really thinking that the plug is the problem, because this definitely is a problem. We could have two problems, right? We could have a plug problem and we could have a carburetor leaking problem. Now I will say this, that back in the summer, maybe June or so, this trimmer did this exact same thing, and it never did it again. And what I found had happened is that the pickup inside the gas tank had gotten lodged up. It was a little stuck. But that doesn't explain the wetness around the carburetor. All right, so check to make sure that take your hand and just make sure that the carburetor is not loose, because that can happen. There's really no weird. Echo's got pretty good carburetors. I've had to replace one on an 8010T before, but I've never had to replace one, I don't think, on a piece of stick equipment. So I'm just gonna get my light and just look down the piston, see if I can see anything weird on the cylinder wall, which I don't. Okay, so let's see here. So let's do this. Let me grab a new plug and we'll put a new plug in there. And I wish I had been filming or not filming, videoing if I had this camera when it was starting to do it. It was just bogging. They cut off and it would not restart. So let me grab a plug and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is the regular plug that all the Echoes take. I don't know about other brands, but it's nice to only have to have, this is a NGK CMR7H. All my Echoes take this, so it's really nice. So I don't know if the camera will catch that or not, but we'll put the new plug in there. It shouldn't need a plug after not even 60 hours. And this thing, it runs really good. But obviously, it's flooding a little bit. Okay. Put this back on. And you know what I bet's gonna happen? This thing is just gonna start right up. I really do appreciate not having to use tools to get to the basics for this stuff. All right, so I'm gonna just spray a little brake parts cleaner to get that off, get it dried. Should have done that before, but it's all right. All right. We're not trying to make it look real pretty. All right, so we know I want to look in this fuel tank. We know that the spark plug's good. We know the air filter's good. But I do want to look inside this tank. I want to see where exactly the pickup is. So let me get this. This motorcycle stand is really good for working on trimmers and stuff. All right, so I'm not going to be spraying anything else, so we'll put that aside. Just let this, oh, that's perfect. Okay, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, but no, there's no way to get the camera in there. It is submerged in there. And one way you can tell is like I did at first. You can, as soon as it starts bogging out and quits, if you'll just operate the primer bulb like this, and if you see a bunch of bubbles in here, like constantly, it's okay to have a few bubbles in there at first, but it should be solid fuel once you're pumping it, if there's fuel in the tank. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Take it out here. Let's try it without the choke first. Okay. Well, of course, it runs perfectly now. And there doesn't appear to be any leakage of anything. So this is what I think happened. Now, I'm just spitballing here. I take back what I originally said, maybe. This plug has a lot of carbon on it. So you know what we're gonna do? Let's put this plug back in there. Let's just try something. Let's just test my theory out. So it's one of those things. Is it the chicken or the egg? Is there something with the carburetor that caused the flooding, which caused the spark plug to foul out, if it's even fouled out? Okay, it looks perfectly fine. It's just as you would expect. So will the trimmer run just as good with this plug? So if the plug really fouled out enough, which It's kind of unusual because I don't usually have plugs foul out on this stuff. Still shouldn't have been a lot of fuel around. Wide open. All right, now take this plug back out. Look at it. Then we're going to run it wide open with the new plug. Yeah, I mean there's carbon on it, but it's not misfiring. We'll see if it's got a little burble to it with this new plug. It may be. You know, when you got carbon, when you have carbon on the electrode and the gap, as long as it's not bridging the gap, the can increase the resistance, which makes it harder for the coil to fire the plug, but it's obviously not enough to where it's affecting it. All right, so I'm gonna start this up. We can go out and wide open again and see if it's got that little bit of burble to it. All right, clearly, I will say that the resistance from the carbon on here, it's got a little bit of resistance. It's enough. You heard how it clearly runs better with the new plug. So now, is that the problem? Well, I don't know. I see. No, I don't see any wetness. I don't see anything leaking. You know, sometimes it's just that easy. That's why I tell you guys to make sure that you have multiple plugs for each piece of equipment that you have on the truck, on the trailer, somewhere. Like I have a bunch of these plugs, and I just used the backup trimmer, the PAS we had with the articulating hedge attachment on it to finish up. And because I wanted to make a video, that's why I didn't fix it right there. So there you go. It's like a plug. Let's try it again. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I am going to call that repaired. Oh, let me show you guys something. While we're dealing with trimmers, this will make your blades last a really long time. Every time you finish using the trimmer for the day, take some WD-40 and spray the cutting surface like this. Spray this side and then that side, so all three sides, and then once you spray it, run the trimmer. That will displace moisture, and I have had trimmers for years and years and years and years and have never had to sharpen the blades on them, which is good. So all right, well, I'm not going to know if this video will have shown you guys everything until I go to edit it, so I sure hope it did, because I think this is a little easier than using the tripod. All right, so that's going to be a win. 59 hours on that one. This trimmer has almost 70 hours. This trimmer has 488 hours. Yeah. This blower's got 154 hours. This one's got 350, 450. This one's got almost 500 hours on it. They all use the same plugs. So, all right, well, I am going to call that a win. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and let me know if you've had any issues with your equipment, whatever brand it is, that was similar to that, and that the spark plug solved it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.